thing downstairs. And I think you're getting what I'm putting down. That thing did not work. What is going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. Appreciate the support on the last video, and I know that was a little bit different style of video, but I hope you guys did enjoy it and did find some insight to that. But on today's topic, in today's video, I really want to touch on the fact of, the ugly truths of being extremely lean and my experience with it, and kind of how, like, on social media, you always see everyone, like maybe the people that you follow, being really ripped and lean, and you go, oh, I want to look like that. But I want to talk about my experience with it, and kind of just, I guess, share my experience. So a little over a year ago, it was the summer of 2019, I decided to compete in a men's physique competition. Now, a little background to that, I moved from New York to Texas. I graduated from college, so a lot of change was happening in my life. Recently got out of a relationship that I was in for a little over 4 years, so I really wanted a change, not only like physically, but I wanted to put myself through a change mentally, something that was gonna require, a lot of willpower. So growing up, whoa. But I used to watch like a lot of YouTube, and I still watch YouTube, but I used to follow Christian Guzman, Shelly Coker, a bunch of other people as well. And they would go, when the summer came, they would start competing in these shows and get to extreme low body fat percentages in order to be competitive in competition. And I thought one day, heck yeah, I want to do that. So I thought, that summer, I'm like, what, this is something, I'm looking for a challenge. I think now, what better time than now to do this? So I actually reached out to Shelly, and he was like, yeah, man, I'll coach you. So I had a 16-week prep for this, and little did I know what I was going through. So when I talk about being extremely lean, I'm not talking about just being like going to a beach, having a beach body, having some abs and stuff like that. Like, no, like that's healthy. Like, you can live a sustainable lifestyle looking like that. I'm talking about once you're at like 5% or below. This is when things get ugly and just really doo-doo ass buns. So the first thing I'll talk about is extreme hunger. And I'm not saying this lightly, guys. I'm being like 100% transparent. Like, the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, you are literally starving, just absolutely starving. You can finish a big meal with a bunch of volume, with a bunch of vegetables. Your tummy, you can feel like expanded with all the fiber in it, and you're still starving. It's absolutely insane. Like, you can't go throughout your day without thinking about food, when the next meal is gonna be. And it was one of those things where it was just becoming a, very mentally hard for me, because I'm like, all that I was doing throughout the day was just thinking about food, when the next meal was gonna be. And even when I was eating my meal, I would be thinking about the next meal, what I was gonna be watching during that next meal, what YouTube video or what TV show. Like, I was planning, and I was just thinking about food. Like, nothing else mattered in my life other than food. So I had this weird and obsessive food addiction, because, like I said, I was always starving all the time. So as you can see, that is very unhealthy, and later it would lead to some unhealthy behaviors that I'll get to in the video. Number 2, your workouts are literally ass chunks. The thing that you love the most, especially if you're enjoying the fitness lifestyle, like, you will really, that's like your favorite part of the day, is to go spend an hour and a half, and just lift some weights, being around that environment with such amazing people. Like, you look forward to that. When you're at 5%, a little bit lower, workouts just become a complete chore. You literally don't feel good whatsoever. Like, it takes every ounce of you just to get through the workout. Caffeine was through the roof. I was probably having over 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day, just because I was craving just a teeny bitty tiny bit of energy, whether it was for 15 minutes, like that little high of energy. I was just craving that so much. And when I tell you guys that every rep, whether it was the first rep, it literally felt like a 1 rep PR, and that was just the first rep. And I'm not being dramatic, and I know like people know me as being dramatic, but like, I'm being serious, guys. Like, it was just extremely hard just to get through the workout. So your workouts were just, you didn't look forward to them, and they were absolutely hard. You may have looked really good, so you looked sick, you got the veins pumping, but you felt like complete ass chunks. You're probably sitting like this in the middle between sets, taking about 5 minutes in between sets, because you literally were trying to find some energy to get through it. So yeah. So the next thing, again, I want to reiterate, is the relationship with food. So literally my relationship with food was absolutely ass chunks. Again, it was ass chunks. I looked at food as numbers. I looked at food either good or bad. At this time, I was counting macros, using my MyFitnessPal and everything like that. And, you know, I didn't look at food as, you know, a sense of just giving me energy, fueling my body. I looked at it as if it's gonna fit my macros, what the macronutrients were, what was its proteins, what were its carbs, what were its fats. And I became super obsessive over this. And over the course of 16 weeks, it just got a little bit, you know, worse and worse. So, I was just very obsessive over it. I wanted all my meals to be perfect. I wanted to have, when I was eating my meal, I wanted to, like I said, I didn't want, if anyone started talking to me when I was eating, it would ruin the meal. It would just ruin my mood, and that my mood swings would just be up and down, and I was just not a pleasant person to be around, and that's just not like me. Usually I like to think of myself as a happy-go-lucky like individual, but I was cranky, I was hangry all the time. I was hungry, like I said. So my relationship with food was over. And as soon as the show was over and I got just one little taste of what food and like the cheeseburgers, pizza, like desserts, a little ounce of what that food tasted like, it was game, set, match. It was over. I can have a box of a serving of cereal, and then 15 minutes later, the whole box of cereal was gone. It would be like everyone was asleep, and I'd go into the pantry because I was kind of embarrassed. And I would just be munching and just binging on food because I had this insane hunger. My body was in survival mode, and I literally just could not stop eating. It was absolutely insane. My stomach would be absolutely full to the point where it hurt, but I'm like, yeah, a large pizza, like, let's do this. So just a horrible, horrible way of like living your life. And then not to mention, you know, body dysmorphia. You will look at yourself in the mirror, your body's holding on to all this water, you're gaining weight really rapidly, and it messes with your mind mentally, and it just was not a healthy state that I wasn't prepared for coming out of the show. So like I did mention too, mood swings. Like I said, I was not the most happy-go-lucky person. You know, you just say, hey man, what's up? And I'd be like, shut up, like, don't talk to me. I was just was not a pleasant person to be around. And it just wasn't ideal, and I didn't like, I guess, the person that I turned into when I was super, super lean like that. It just was not cool. You can ask my brother and my parents. They're like, man, this kid sucks. And lastly, what I want to talk about, which this one's kind of a little bit awkward to talk about, was the thing downstairs. And I think you're getting what I'm putting down. That thing did not work. So my body, like I said, was literally in survival mode. It did not want to reproduce or do any of that. So literally, you know, it did not work. I did not have any desires to go and meet people or anything like that. Like girls did not interest me whatsoever. I didn't want any of that. And it was crazy because I'm like, you know, you think you're gonna get super lean, you're gonna get all these girls, whatever, and that's just not the case. You literally don't even want anything with them. All you want is food. Your mind is so obsessive over food, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I really knew it was, this is kind of funny, I knew it was messed up because as soon as my show was over, my first little cheat thing that I had was a cheeseburger, and as soon as I took that first bite, I got a boner. I got a boner, yep. And that's how I knew it was messed up, man. My hormones were just absolutely whack, and it was just wasn't ideal. So yeah, guys. Literally, when you look at all your people, the people that you follow on Instagram, if they're like super shredded and everything, like look and take a, you know, look at it as to see like what is it you want. Realize that, you know, when you get to that certain body fat percentage, like your whole life kind of changes, and you don't realize what you're signing yourself up for. I wish if I had known these things, like I would have done a lot of things differently. But you know what? Again, I'm not taking back anything. Like I'm super, super thankful and happy that I did it, just to prove that myself that I can be disciplined for that long and can do it. But it was just definitely something that was absolutely crazy, and I did not think would happen. Now, obviously the pros are you can literally take your shirt off, take a pic, and you just look good. I guess you feel a little bit more confident. Your facial structure, like you have a little bit more of a jawline instead of like this whale puffy look. But really, does that, like, to me that's not worth it with all the negatives that I pointed out. Like it just wasn't worth it. I would rather be a happy person in a good mood. But that was just my personal experience of just being extremely lean. So hope you guys did find this video, I guess, maybe interesting or helpful. Just maybe if you are for this summer looking to get, you know, lean, kudos to you. That's amazing. I think everyone should do it, obviously in a healthy way. But I'm just warning you guys, if you go past that stage of lean where you're like 5, you're show day ready, just be prepared for, you know, these side effects that you may endure. So hope you guys did like the video. Hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. See ya.